188 laps. Caution laps count. The basic purse, $187,000. The winner's share, $50,000. The total prize money, $370,500. Our track description?
The track description is a 1 mile clay oval. The straightaways are 1,700 feet. There's no banking in the corners. It's a perfectly shaped oval, New York State Fairgrounds, and it's again an old horse racing track, so it is a legitimate mile. Wanted to add that the winner's share is $50,000 in cash, but with contingency awards and the Chevrolet pace car and all that, it's $100,000.
And for our track condition, let's go down to Cowboy Paul Small.
Doug, you couldn't ask for better track conditions than we have here at the Moody Mile today. This track thrives on sunshine because when the sun's out, it gets hard, black, a lot of rubber gets laid down on it, and the wider that lane of rubber is, the better the racing surface is. We've got about 60 degrees here at race time, bright sunshine in the sky. We've got a killer racetrack for the best dirt modified race in the country, Doug.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Silver Anniversary Phase 300. On the pole, 1988 winner Kenny Breitbill in the number 19. And outside row 1, he finished 5th last year out of Caister Center, Ontario, Joe Plozek.
Second row on the inside will be Jeff Hetsler out of Wallkill, New York, in the Reclamation Troyer car. He was the winner last night at Rolling Wheels. Steve Payne is alongside in the Nice and Easy Grocery Shops car.
On to row 3, and a 2-time winner, number 87, Jimmy Horton. And outside him, he finished 2nd in 93, the 115 of Kenny Tremont.
Fourth row on the inside, we mentioned Brett Hearn. You heard the engine problem story that they had earlier. Billy Decker, who was involved in a vicious crash here last year. He was probably the fastest car last year. He'll be rolling off from 8th.
He nearly won this event on 2 occasions, but he's yet to get to victory lane. Danny Johnson, and outside 2-time winner Jack Johnson.
Row 6 on the inside will be Billy Pouch. You heard about his story. He has won 500 times. His 500th career win coming just a week ago. He was involved in a vicious crash a week ago at Flemington. He was in a wall banger here earlier this week. Craig Van Dorn is alongside. He's also out of Pennsylvania.
Let's take a look at row 7. Wayne Howard and the 99 of Dickie Larkin.
Row 8 on the inside will be David Camara. Second start for Camara in this race, and Bobby Barron is alongside in the Council Herald trucking car, a brand new Troyer machine.
In row 9, the first rookie in our field, Jimmy Hauser, and the 56 of veteran Pat Ward.
Row number 10 on the inside will be Gilly Tegg Jr. out of Rochester, New York, and the farmer out of Troy, New York is Jack Hewitt.
In row 11 is Jeff Strunk and Jimmy Chester.
Row number 12 on the inside will be Mike Romano, the second-generation driver, and Bud Chrisman, a rookie in this race, is alongside. He's out of New Milford, New Jersey.
On to row 13. First time ever in a dirt modified. Normally runs super modifieds Pat Abold, and outside Scott Prentice.
Row number 14 on the inside is the second-generation driver, Eddie Marshall, in the Marshall Oil Olsen Eagle. Ricky Elliott's alongside. He's out of Delaware.
Row 15, Rick Mill and Donnie Corellis.
Row number 16 on the inside will be Ronnie Smoker, another rookie. He's out of North Boston, New York, and Larry Brolsma out of Reading, Pennsylvania, is alongside.
On to row 17, Alan Johnson and Johnny Moravec.
Row number 18 on the inside, Tommy Corellis. He's got more experience here than any other driver. He was in the first race. Vic Coffey, a rookie, is alongside.
Row 19, it's Tim Fuller and Mike Colston.
Row number 20 on the inside, Bob McCready. You've heard all about him, and Frank Cozy in car 74.
On to row 21, Jamie Mills and Doug Hoffman.
Row number 22 on the inside, Buzzy Rudeman, 2-time winner. Jeff Trombley is alongside.
Row 23, Brian Turner and Alex Friesen.
Row number 24 on the inside, the veteran driver Lou Blaney. Tommy Krifjak is alongside.
And Elaine Boisvert rounds out the starting field for the Phase 300 as the grid now moves into turn 3. On to turn 4. They will look toward the starter, Dave Farney. As now the engines roar and they come out of turn 4, Dave Farney unfurls the green flag, and the Silver Anniversary Phase 300 is on! Joe Plozek has the lead in turn 1.
A mad scramble as they came down the front straightaway, and Joe Plozek blasts out front in the Canadian number 1. Steve Payne has taken over number 2. Hetsler rides in 3 as they shuffle down the back straightaway. The pole sitter Kenny Breitbill has fallen back to position 4. You see him jockeying all over the racetrack. Way up on the outside is Jimmy Hauser. He comes to the outside. He'll be able to effect a couple of passes.
Lap 1 is in the books. Canada Joe Plozek has the lead. It's Steve Payne second, Jeff Hetsler third, our pole sitter Kenny Breitbill fourth.
There you see Hetsler trying to pick up a spot. And here we see Canada Joe blasting his way down the front straightaway. He won a race here on Labor Day. Oh, he got the car sideways, but he straightened it out. That was Hauser, who's been so very, very ragged. He was a winner here on the 4th of July. He's a rookie in this race, and he was looking like a rookie right then, but he got away with it.
Top qualifying speed, just over 115 miles per hour. They're running about 110 miles an hour for an average lap at this juncture of the race.
There we see Brett Hearn working on the bottom of the racetrack with the Budweiser car number 3, the red and white car. He's trying to pick up a spot. He was not successful in moving around the Jack Johnson car. He continues to chase Johnson as they work out of turn number 3.
Here's Brett Hearn, 5-time winner, the Budweiser number 3, defending champion. Jimmy Horton in the 87 goes underneath Billy Decker. Can he get him?
Not quite. He was inside and had the pass made, but Decker had the momentum on the outside as they worked down the back straightaway. Pretty much single file. We didn't talk about this in the track description, but that back straightaway is quite a bit narrower than the front straightaway.
And here's a look from our in-car camera. CarQuest Auto Parts running right about 35th right now. Frank Cozy.
Just saw Cozy reach up and take off a tearaway. They've got a number of layers of these tearaways on their visors. You can see some mud building up on the camera. And that's what Frank was tearing away. And here comes McCready on the inside at 3 wide. This ought to be a great shot here. That's the battle for position number 37. That's Corellis that they're trying to pass. That's Tommy Corellis in car number 50. Bob McCready in the number 9, running 3rd in that particular group of cars.
Bob McCready, who has had so much trouble here during this week trying to get it all together when it counts.
Yeah, they had a major problem steering the car here on Wednesday, and they stayed right here and worked on the car in the rain on Thursday. They worked on it on Friday as well. They wanted to get some lap times, and this is the car that he built for Syracuse last year. It was a very potent car, but they crashed it. They've had some problems with it here this weekend, but they hope to have all that behind them. We continue to watch from the CarQuest Auto Parts in-car camera. Frank Cozy trying to move around the Corellis car. There comes McCready. He's made the pass on the inside, so McCready will pick up the number 37 spot. He's picked up just 2 spots. He started 39, picked up 2, and we're 6 laps into the race, so he's not making progress in a hurry. But there we saw a shot of a lead pack. It is the leader is Joe Plosick, and he's opened up a comfortable margin. He's a half a straightaway ahead of Steve Payne, who rides in the number 2 spot. Hetzler is in 3. Breitbill is in 4. Then a big separation back to Kenny Tremont, who runs in 5. Jimmy Horton is in 6 as we complete lap number 7.
Canada Joe Plosick, there's the interval. 2nd place Steve Payne, Jeff Hetzler, Kenny Breitbill, our pole sitter. Look at how Joe Plosick has pulled away from our 2nd block of racers, battling for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Plosick out of Caister Center, Ontario. His mom and dad own the car. We've talked about that in some of our earlier rush hour programs. They operate a big auto recycling operation just outside of Hamilton, Ontario. This is a car that they build especially for Syracuse. They call it the LTR, the long track racer. And right now it's a long track racer that's got a big, big lead.
Jimmy Horton has gotten Billy Decker. He has passed Billy Decker as he continues to move through the field.
He's past Decker, and he's right on the rear bumper of Kenny Tremont. That's a great race right there. That's the battle for the number 5 spot. Tremont in 5, Horton in 6, and they continue to dice it out.
Tricycling, Kenny Tremont, turn 4.
Tremont, the winner of that $17,500 race, the Mr. Dirt Track USA race on television earlier this summer at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Oh boy, there it is, tricycling again. He won the small block race here yesterday. $20,000 payday for him yesterday. Here we see the leader, Joe Plosick, has put a lap on Buzzy Rudeman. Rudeman, the 2-time champion of this race, started deep in the pack, and he's coming up on, now he being Joe Plosick, coming up on Alex Friesen, who won the special qualifier race here earlier today. So Alex goes a lap down as the leader is in heavy traffic as they work through turns number 1 and 2.
And just that quickly, Joe Plosick has caught the rear of the field as now he moves through traffic down the backstretch.
This is so very, very dangerous. The separation, this means we've got a car showing a lot of smoke.
We have a yellow.
The car showing the smoke is Mike Romano. Romano in car number 1 extend. This is a ride that Romano picked up for this race only. Car's out of Quebec. He's out of Johnstown, New York. Incidentally, his younger brother, A.J. Romano, injured in an automobile accident, a highway accident a week ago. He rests in a hospital about 15 miles from, well, not even that, a few miles down the road here in Syracuse. So we wish A.J. Romano a speedy recovery. I know that he wishes he could be here.
So we have our first caution of the afternoon on lap 11 of the Phase 300. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse. We'll be right back.
Rush Hour Super Dirt Week.
Drugstore's 300 is back under green at the New York State Fairgrounds. Joe Plozak continues to have the lead, and now we have a yellow.
I'm not sure what happened there, Doug. I thought the pace car pulled off. The field was storming out of turn number 4, but they didn't have the green flag flying when they came down.
Joe Plozak had it unwound and had to put on the blinders.
Blinders or binders? Probably both. Oh dear, that's so tough. I mean, they get their adrenaline working and they're all geared up to go racing, and for whatever reason we didn't. And so he gets a chance to tighten the belts one more notch.
What has been the story thus far in this race?
Well, Bob McCready going out. I mean, that's such a tough luck story. McCready is not a real fan of this big racetrack, and he's made that known on a number of occasions. But nevertheless, he's a racer, and he wants to win here. He's come prepared for the last 2 years with the finest thing that he can build. Most of the guys buy their cars from somebody else. In fact, that's what he runs all summer long, as a Troyer car. But for this race last year, he and his crew built this special homemade deal. It came out here, and it was a fast car. It wasn't the fastest qualifier, but he was coming up through traffic, and we had a spectacular crash here on the front straightaway. Knocked him out of that one. They had the problem with the steering box here earlier this week that we talked about, and now he's out here early today. So that's one story. And I would say the other one is the fact that Plozak has been able to pull away so quickly. But there are more. I mean, in the back, we've got Horton coming up in a hurry. We've got this great race going on here for the number 8, 7, 8, 9 spots with Hearn and so forth. So there's just a number of stories here early going. We're completing lap number 39.
Yeah, of course, the idea is to pit under the yellow, and that's what Eddie Marshall and Alan Johnson, Vic Coffey, and Ron Smoke did, among others. But when the green flag came out for just that moment and the cars accelerated, those 4 men got caught in the pits, and they go a lap down.
Tough break. I wasn't watching that. But Alan Johnson, he and Vic Coffey, who said both those cars in the pits, Alan is driving Vic Coffey's backup car. They had a meltdown in their engine earlier this morning, as he had to go to a backup car. So both of the Vic Coffey cars going down a lap.
A real success story in 1996 here at Super Dirt Week is Joe Plozak.
Caister Center, Ontario's Joe Plozak is the top dirt modified threat from the North Country. For Canada Joe, being around any kind of car is natural. His family's business is the largest auto recycling yard in Eastern Canada. Joe's family all play key roles in his racing operation, from car owner to crew member to cheering section, juggling family and business with racing pleasure.
Yes, a success story indeed, and he's looking for that first checkered flag here at the New York State Fairgrounds. Well, we have a former winner that's already out of this year's event, 2-time defending Mr. Dirt, Bob McCready. He's down now in the pits with Paul Small.
Barefoot Bob McCready won this race back in 1986, but 10 years later, your luck turned sour. What happened?
Broke a transmission. It was just one of those deals, you know. We've been off all week long, finally get the car hooked up race day, and really thought our troubles were behind us. You know, the Kinney Drugstore, Syracuse Frame Service, FX Compare Car Companies Modified was just super today, but broke apart.
This is the second year you brought this experimental car. Do you think one of these days you'll get enough laps on it to really go quick with it? It's got a lot of potential.
I guess I got to look and see how long my career will last. I think so. The car is good now. The only reason we had trouble all week is because dirt mandated some rule changes, and it changed the car around. We had to get it going again.
Barefoot Bob McCready out of the 1996 Phase 300, but he'll be back.
He will be back. He's a true champion.
Pace car clears the racetrack. We're going to go green here on lap number 42. Plazek leads. Hetsler is now 2. He's taken over the number 2 spot. Payne has fallen back to 3. Breitbill holds on to 4. Horton is 5. Tremont is 6. Decker is 7. Van Doren is 8. Jack Johnson is 9. And Hearn has fallen back to 10.
And here they come down the front straightaway.
Got lap cars in the picture as well as Hetsler tries to pass Buzzy Rudeman. That's a lap car, the 00 and the 68, both lap cars. And Hetsler is able to make the pass, but Payne is not. And there they go, shuffling down the back straightaway. 2 and 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2. Here's Brian Turner, Jack Turner, number 11, about to go a lap down to Jack Johnson. Jack trying to make the pass. He's being pressured by, there's Danny Johnson now working on the inside of Hearn for the number 10 spot. Danny Johnson has made the pass. He's come to the number 10 spot. Hearn goes back to 11.
So Hearn slips a position, and the doctor, Danny Johnson, takes over the spot with a real smooth move.
Smooth move. 9 Grand Dan had it wound up to all 9,000 RPMs. He was able to make that pass.
From the rear of the pack, Dave Laney is up to 30th. He's making the move after Billy Pouch started the race. Left the car the first caution. Laney got in. He's off and running.
We continue to watch this battle back here for position number 8, 9, 10. Jack Johnson runs in the number 9 spot. Danny Johnson now 10. Hearn back in 11. They're caught behind the lap car of Brian Turner. Turner has opened the door, but not wide enough for Jack to make the pass.
Danny Johnson has come close here on a couple of occasions. He nearly won in 89. There was a crash with Frank Cozy on lap 180. Then he led in 91 with 11 laps to go and lost a wheel. He's trying to look strong and make a bid here today.
And looking strong he is. When anybody passes Brett Hearn with that much authority, you know that they are strong. Now, Hearn's gone to the backup car, but nevertheless, it's a first-class automobile. He told us at the top of the show they're having a problem trying to figure out which one to use. So you know that they are basically equal cars.
Great battle for position right here at the fairgrounds. Danny Johnson, Brett Hearn.
Here we see Jimmy Hauser up on the outside. There is a battle for position. Van Doren up on the outside of Billy Decker, but he got too far out, couldn't make the pass. Craig Van Doren out of Olney, Pennsylvania.
And there is a point of no return on this track.
Yeah, and Van Doren was thinking about that right then. White knuckle time, I call it. No return into the wall, and it would smart a bunch at the speed that they're traveling. So Van Doren was able to collect the car. There's a little bit of a cushion building up there. They're tearing off some of the clay on the bottom and moving it towards the top, and that helps protect the spot.
Kenny Breitbill on the rear bumper of the Hurricane, Steve Payne.
That's the battle for the number 3 spot. Payne has fallen back to run 3. Breitbill is right there. Jimmy Horton tight behind him in the Duchess overhead doors, number 87. There's Cozy showing on the screen with the Smith Brothers CarQuest Auto Parts car, but he's down a lap or so.
Breitbill trying to nudge down low as we go back in car. In-car camera, CarQuest Auto Parts. Up ahead, you can see that battle for position.
I hope he can see a little more than we can. It wasn't enough to make me comfortable. There's Horton on the inside of Breitbill, but he wasn't. I'm sorry, Breitbill is making the pass of Steve Payne. So Breitbill goes to 3.
Breitbill is in 3rd. Steve Payne, then Jimmy Horton.
For so many years, Breitbill has come here and run up cars of his own design. He's a throwback of the way it used to be, and he continues to do it that way. But his car owner, Ray Carroll, suggested that maybe for 1987, they'd want to, or whatever year this is, 96, they'd want to come with a brand new car. So he bought a new Troyer Mud Bus for Breitbill, and so far it's been a dream for him.
And what about Jimmy Horton's situation?
He's driving the same TO Pro car that he won with here in 1994. he's had a great summer as well. He's trying to run him down, and he's doing a great job.
Some drivers come here with their car, and some have some choosing to do. And Jimmy Horton had a choice to make as he goes down below Hurricane Steve Payne. Can he get him?
Go back in the pack again and watch Van Doren work on Decker. Buzzy Rudeman, you can. I thought he was signaling for the driver to go behind the outside. I believe that was tape just blowing in the breeze. There's Horton making. Yeah, I think he actually touched Steve Payne as they worked out of the corner. Here they come down the front straightaway.
Horton goes low on Payne. Can he finish him off? No. The corner exiting speed in favor of the Hurricane.
We had somebody way up against the wall. I believe that was Van Doren, but he was able to hold on. Now, Jimmy Horton has had a great dream season for the past couple of years. Dan Mazden, his car on a Duchess overhead doors, has provided him with a stable of automobiles and a full-time crew and all of that. But for 1997, Mazden says he won't run a full schedule. Horton, of course, this is the way he makes his living. He wants to run a full schedule, and he might actually buy the team from Mazden and do it on his own.
Horton has got Payne.
Boy, was he working to do that. They are trapped behind Buzzy Rudeman and Alex Friesen, and they're going nuts, trying to break those slower cars, and at the same time make the pass which he was able to do.
And there's Horton in the 87.
Air Horton, he's sometimes known as the guy that went out of the ballpark at Talladega. This guy has run all the racetracks all over the country. For a while, had a dream of making it full-time on the Winston Cup Tour. I'm not sure that that's any longer in his dreams. I think maybe it's in his dreams, but it's kind of on the back burner for a while as he's happy making a living with dirt track racing. We go back to Frank Cozy. Now he's lost at least one lap to the leaders. Did he stop earlier? They've had engine problems. They have brought a couple of cars here, and they've been struggling all week long.
Joe Plazek. Second place, Jeff Hetsler.
And the battle is in the middle of the pack, Van Doren and Decker. A moment ago, we watched Danny Johnson trying to make a pass as well. Bobby Varon up on the outside. That red car, number 35, racing with Doug Hoffman. They have caught Pat Ward and Brian Turner. There's a story as well. Bobby Varon running a low buck operation, basically financed it himself all summer long. Council Harrell and Clinton Harrell down in New Jersey, who are great car owners. They've had some great runs here in the past. They saw this young driver out of Sharon Springs, New York, operating on television. They decided they needed a new driver for 1996 here at the fairgrounds, and they hired Bobby Varon. Then they bought him a new Bud Bus, and right now he's in a great battle with the Hoffman car, Phil Chevrolet number 1.
And the 56 of Pat Ward, all battling for 16th.
Meanwhile, Laney continues to march from the back of the pack. Now, this guy's been a runner-up here for the past couple of years. He is now in position number 15. So Dave Laney and the Briosky Rio brothers R10 marching from the back of the pack up to 15. We've got caution on the speedway as Tommy Corellis has blown a tire here on the front straightaway. The yellow flag flies again. The racing veteran out of Rensselaer, New York, Tommy Corellis. There you see the smoking shreds of the tire as he slows here on the front straightaway.
And that happened just in front of our race leader, Joe Plazek.
Corellis has had some problems here. The timing gears came apart on an engine on Wednesday. They timed out of the backup engine, got him in. Tony Fowle took the whole Hurt motor back to his shop in New Jersey, fixed it, and that's what they're running here today. But right now, motor isn't their problem, tire is.
57 laps complete here at the New York State Fairgrounds. Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery. It's a beautiful day for the Phase 300, and it's about as nice a day as we can remember.
Yeah, weather always plays a factor in this weekend one way or the other, and usually it's a bad factor. We did have a complete washout here on Thursday, but today absolutely beautiful. And the fact that Thursday was rained out didn't make a whole lot of difference. We took the time trials for Wednesday. Tommy Corellis fighting mainly to stay in the lead lap. He's not made a stop yet, so he's trying to catch the back of the pack, or the front of the pack, I should say, and make his stop. He's working down the back straightaway, so he's caught the front of the pack. He can't pass the pace car. That thing is evil on 3 tires.
Boy, what a great driving job.
Great driving job. This guy, as we mentioned, has been here since the beginning. He hasn't qualified for all the races, but he's been here since the start, running a very limited schedule this year. This is only his 4th race of the entire summer or the season. So Corellis, the racing veteran, oh, how he'd love to put this in his record books and have a win here at Syracuse. It probably won't happen. He's giving the pace car fits as he pulls alongside. Wee Willie Allen, a Dirt Motorsports Hall of Famer and former race car driver, at the controls of that Chevrolet pace car. We've got
some of our race leaders are coming in. Hetsler is coming in. Steve Payne is coming in. Jimmy Horton is in. Kenny Tremont is in. Danny Johnson as well.
About the only one of the leaders that did not come in is Joe Plazik. In fact, the only car from the top 20 Hearn has stayed on the racetrack as well. Hearn has stayed on the racetrack. Blaney has stayed on the racetrack. So those are going to be our, I would guess, the first position will be Plazik, who has not made a stop. He will be our race leader. I think Hearn will be second. And running third would be Van Doren.
Our pole sitter, Kenny Breitbill, in the 19, is in the pits. Let's go down to Andy Fusco. Andy?
Down here in the Breitbill pit, Doug, and he's making tire changes on both rear tires. Obviously, he was going backwards there just before this round of pit stops. Tire wear doesn't seem to be a problem. Looking at the tires from my vantage point, my guess would be that they're trying to change the stagger in the tires, or maybe a little bit of a softer tire to get more bite as the track tightens up underneath the obviously sunshine, beautiful conditions here in Syracuse, New York.
All right, thank you, Andy. I know you couldn't see it because you were concentrating on Breitbill's pit, but how about Decker and Corellis coming out of the pits?
Yeah, very, very unfortunate situation for Billy Decker and Tommy Corellis. They made heavy contact, and Decker wasn't all happy about it. He gave him a little tap afterwards. I don't believe they seriously injured either car, but not what you want to do.
There is Kenny Breitbill, our pole sitter, rejoining the fray, and the number 1 of Canada Joe Plazik, is the leader of the Phase 300, and we have 60 laps in the books.
Well, my unofficial top 4 are Plazik, the leader, Hearn in second, Dwayne Howard in third, and Blaney in fourth. That is, of course, unofficial just by my records. Now, this is an interesting situation here, Doug. Last year, Plazik had a chance to win the race, and he ran out of gas very, very last couple of laps, ended up finishing 5th. He's got a very thirsty Pontiac big block under the hood, and gas mileage is not what works in his favor. So the not make the stop now was a very, very calculated move.
Our pole sitter is back in the pits. Kenny Breitbill is back in the pits. Paul Small.
Kenny Breitbill's crew looking under graphics car number 19. I don't know what the problem is. Kenny is sitting here in the car right now, motioning with hands to the crew. But Breitbill's car is now pulling away off of pit road. We'll see if we can find out what the problem is here from one of the crew members. What was with the
Talk to him.
Well, we're sorry we had some technical difficulties with Paul Small's microphone down there. We'll pick up the story as we can. Slow pit stop. Jimmy Horton went in third, came out 14th out of the pits.
Now, we weren't able to get the report. We'll probably get a little later on from Paul Small what the problem was, but whatever the problem may be, the fact that there's a bunch of fluid from the back of the car. Now, hopefully that's just spilled gasoline, but we're not sure. There's a big wet puddle under where the Tabloid Graphics car was parked. The crew chief, incidentally, for the Tabloid Graphics team, and Kenny Breitbill is his son, so his son Keith.
Well, it was a big day for Kenny Breitbill Wednesday when he captured the pole position for the 300, but he's got a lot of work to be done.
The white flag has been displayed. We'll go green momentarily, and the pace car is cleared, and you can see the shuffle down the back straightaway, every which way but straight. The green flag is in the air. Plazik goes back to work. Tommy Christiak going high on the speedway with the Pennzoil number 2 car. He's able to hold on.
flag here at the fairgrounds. Blazek, and right behind him is the number 3 of Brett Hearn.
Howard runs in the number 3 spot. Laney from the back of the pack to 4. Now remember, those guys have not made their stops. So this will be a very interesting situation as we watch some of the hot dogs that did stop blast their way through the pack. And one of the first cars that I saw on the line would be Steve Payne, who's made his stop and he's charging. He's about mid-back right now.
Another great jump for Joe Blazek.
Yeah, horsepower is definitely not a problem for Joe today. Now, gas mileage may be, but there is a problem. Kenny Breitbill won the race in 1986, and no, not 86, but won this race a few years ago.
Won it in 88.
Will not win it in 96. That much we know.
Look at the 33 of Jeff Hetsler.
Here's the race leader down the back straightaway. Blazek the leader. Hearn runs second. Howard holds on to the number 3 spot with Blaney in 4. Shuffling the deck as they race down the back straightaway. Somebody in the middle of the pack there, darting from the bottom to the top, and no contact.
Let me ask you this. Did the fact that Blazek stayed out on the racetrack, did that influence what Brett Hearn did?
I don't know. Hearn's got a little bit of a problem. He was going backwards, so I suspect that Hearn's got his own strategy independent of what anybody else was doing. So I don't know, Doug. Obviously, we'll try to find out, but it's an interesting strategy. Stay out.
Our pole sitter is out of the race, and he's down in the pits with Andy Fusco.
Thanks, Doug. I'm down here with Kenny Breitbill. Kenny, what went wrong?
I don't know. The motor just started going flat. Didn't want to run, so we just decided to pull it in.
Kind of a tough way to end the 25th anniversary.
Whatever happens, happens. I guess you can't control that.
Indeed, you can't. Boy, this is a tough one for the guy who won his first one here in 1988 and won his second pole 24 years after his first. Back up to you guys in the tower.
All right, thank you very much, Andy. Of course, Kenny Breitbill won the first ever race promoted by the president of Dirt Motorsports, Glenn Donnelly, right here at the New York State Fair. The 90, make it the 72 Fair Championship went to Kenny Breitbill, and now he is out of this year's event.
He's out. We've got some great racing going on. We just had a shot of Hetsler as he's trying to run down the 21J, the Altier Audio car of Jeff Trombley. It's a battle for position. Ramble down the back straightaway. Andy Johnson up on the outside. He's trying to make a pass. He now dives to the bottom. He's working on Steve Payne.
The number 7 of Steve Payne, the 6 of Danny Johnson. Out of turn 4, down the front straightaway.
Payne's hugging the bottom, and Danny knows he's going to have to go to the top to make the pass. Meanwhile, Tremont is right there as well. We've got a problem out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Looked like Horton was involved.
We got yellow on the speedway. Caution flag is flying.
Now, it looks like everybody came out of that little tussle okay, but we'll see.
Question now, will Blazek pit? Strategy, we're lap number 69, so he's going to stretch it out here a few laps over those last cars, but he will lose track position. Track position, so very, very important. He lose it if he makes the stop. Of course, we're not sure of that. They can go almost 100, but it's the ragged edge.
Almost. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse, and we are live at the New York State Fairgrounds.
Rush Hour Super Dirt Week.
We are back live at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, and we have a major development.
Major indeed. Brett Hearn leaving pit road after his pit stop here under yellow. He was clobbered by Donnie Corellis when they came out of the pits. It's knocked the front end askew, as you can see on the Budweiser number 3. Brett Hearn, 5-time winner, defending race champion. Here we have a replay.
Here is Brett Hearn coming out of his most forward position, and whammo, right there coming out of the pits.
Corellis had a full head of steam. He'd pitted much further down the road, and they made contact, and there's additional contact. Brett can't steer it.
And the 5-time winner is about to go on the hook, and it's just an absolute disaster for Brett Hearn.
Disaster indeed. That was a very unfortunate situation. He's shaking his head. He cannot believe it. The top 4 cars that we had not pitted earlier have made their pit stop on this occasion. Plazik, Hearn, Laney, and Dwayne Howard had all made their stops. Billy Decker is on the pit road now for his second stop. I believe that's our race leader.
And I believe that is our Skoal champion, Doug Hoffman. With that unfortunate incident involving Brett Hearn, has clinched the Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series championship. His first ever. Congratulations to Doug Hoffman and Billy Taylor.
Well, you're just a little bit ahead of the story because if he gets knocked out here in the next lap or so, then there's got to be a number of spot separation. That's probably not going to happen, but we certainly wish that Brett Hearn could have raced him for this championship.
Now, when we spoke to Brett earlier, he was concerned about that forward-most pit position because he basically had to come back toward the track in order to get on. But I think that he was in line, and that was just a problem that could have happened anywhere.
Well, it could have happened. 2 cars trying to fill the same spot. It'll happen in the parking lot, but a tough situation. He chose that spot, so I don't know. He'll probably think about it again for another year.
Well, we look forward to talking to Brett, although I really don't know what he could have to say after that unfortunate incident. Here it is one more time. This is the second rash of pit stops, the first time in the pits for Brett Hearn. Watch, he stalled the engine, then he got going, and a collision coming out of the pits.
It's a very narrow exit. Everything around here is narrow, but that was part of the situation as well. Unofficially, the top 5 as we operate under yellow after this round of pit stops. We're on lap number 73. Rick Mill is the leader. Doug Hoffman is second. Gil Tague is third. Jeff Hetsler is 4th, and Eddie Marshall unofficially rounding out the top 5. Have Ron Smoker in 6th, Steve Payne in 7th, Danny Johnson in 8th. And the 2 of Christiak running in position number 9, and then the Larkin number 99 running in position number 10. That's all unofficial here at lap number 73.
And we are back under green at the New York State Fairgrounds.
Well, watch the hot dog jump from the back. That hot dog is Van Doren, who got way out of shape. He's coming up on Bobby Varon. Here we go to the front of the pack. New York driver. He's probably not made a stop at all. That may be the reason he's leading.
Laps in.
4 wide going off into turn number 1, and they got away with it. Jimmy Hauser from the top to the bottom in the green and black car. We saw Ronnie Smoker at the number 95 showing he was in position number 7. Just been informed that Rick Mill has made a stop. He was the first group. He pitted on lap number 36, so he is our legitimate race leader. Rick Mill in the John Minsky car number 348.
Well, what a story that would be. 36 years of age, Rick Mill, number 348.
This is his 3rd phase 300. His best finish was in 1995. Last year he finished 14th, so he's got some experience here. But it's very early in the race, and he's being chased by Doug Hoffman. The bad situation that they've had all week long has turned around, and is certainly working for them now. He's about 4 car lengths off the race leader as they work out a turn number 4.
Now, Mill, you mentioned the experience he's had here. He actually led last year's 300
before pitting, and I thought that was the same situation today, but he has made the pit stop. So Rick Mill out front, but he's being pressured by Doug Hoffman.
Well, we are most eager to hear the a reaction from the Hearn pit. Let's go down to Paul Small.
Right now they're working on the right front corner of the Brett Hearn Budweiser car number 3. The problem is apparently the kingpin is jammed in the steering control in this car. So what that is the problem that disallowed her from steering the car. Now the rest of the damage is not all that bad on this car right now. The front axle is actually straight. So once they get this repaired, they can get it back out. Now you can see here, this is the kingpin they're pulling out right now. You can see they're using a piece of another chassis part, and they're literally pounding it out of the front axle assembly. This is what holds the entire hub and rim right onto the axle itself. Let's get in here and get to Brett. Brett, what happened out there? It seemed like the Corellis car got a good piece of you.
Yeah, we've got a spot down here at the end of. We got a spot down here on the end of pit road, and it's too close to the entrance on the track. And you got to come at the ongoing traffic at a right angle. And you know these guys don't look where they're going. You know they know I'm coming out, and there was a car going too fast. I didn't even see who it was.
Is the crew talking to you? Can you get this car back out?
I don't even know if it's worth it.
That's a reaction for Brett Hearn. He is sitting in the car hoping they'll get him back out in the Phase 300, but his chance to win is gone.
And isn't that something? Now, Hearn doesn't necessarily come here annually with the fastest race car, but his pit strategy normally gets him up to the front of the pack, and obviously a 5-time winner. He's had extraordinary success here over the years.
They come prepared. They have very, very good equipment. They've got a lot of guys dedicated, a full team. Some of them on the payroll, they get paid. That's not the case normally for these dirt track racers, but they've got a system that really works here. It works every place, but it works with Syracuse. Now, he's not, the situation now is he's not going to win the race. That's obvious. But we talked earlier, school points, Mr. Dirt points. They've got to get that car back out and earn as many points as they possibly can.
Meanwhile, Doug Hoffman running very, very smoothly on the racetrack. And ultimately, will it be worth it for Brett to come back out on the track? Well, that's the decision that the driver and crew will make, but he's losing lap after lap.
If they can get it fixed, he will be out. No doubt about that. Again, it's not for the win, but it's for those points.
Jeff Hetsler in the 33.
That was Gilly Tegg getting so very much out of shape with the Hooters Bud Light car. He caught a rim on the bottom, a run on the bottom of the racetrack, and skated him right across. He'll lose a spot to Hetsler as they negotiate turn number 2 and head down the back straightaway. Just in front of them is Jeff Trombley. Trombley currently runs in the number 3 spot. So that's a battle for 3, 4, and 5. Hauser's car has lost the roof. The roof is off of Jimmy Hauser's car. This won't work, Doug.
No.
Not required by the rules after the race starts, but the downforce that has gone away with the roof blown off will make sure that Hauser doesn't win here today.
So the compromise safety factor is the fact there's less downforce.
That's right.
Otherwise,
yeah, it's just fiberglass. It doesn't do a whole lot of protection. It's kind of serves as a wing. It protects you from stones and so forth, but it's not a big deal. He's being pressured by Horton.
Let's take a look at this. The replay on the back. Look at that. There is the roof up in the air, and somebody has a souvenir.
And somebody is really lucky that that happened on the back straightaway instead of on the front straightaway.
There's the 33 of Jeff Hetsler, and he is currently running in 3rd.
Jeff Trombley running in 4, Gil Tegg in 5. The leader is still Rick Mill and John Binsky. This is a low buck operation. He's leading with Hoffman running 2nd.
An ongoing story here with the Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series points and that progress that Doug Hoffman in the number 1 is making down on the racetrack. Let's go down to the pits. Paul Small is with Billy Taylor.
Billy Taylor, crew chief for the Doug Hoffman car number 1. Doug started way back in the number 42 slot. Now he's battling for the lead. What a great day for you guys.
It really turned around. Had a real tough week this week, and we're all right. We got a new car here, and we're good. We're good. We're right where we want to be. Caution's out, and we're ready to go.
Billy Taylor in communication with Doug Hoffman. The caution flag has just come out on the speedway, guys, so we may see some more pit stops here, and it may include the Hoffman team.
The reason for the caution is Dickie Larkin in the Village Variety, car number 99. The runner from the Lebanon Valley Speedway has blown a tire, and that has torn away some of the fiberglass and sheet metal. He made minor contact with the wall. The problem isn't the contact with the wall. The problem is what caused him to get there, and Larkin will make a pit stop. He's out of Sheffield, Massachusetts. He's always a strong runner here on the mile.
Now let's see if anybody else comes into the pits with Dick Larkin.
We are approaching that very, very important lap number 100. PNC Food Market's $10,000 lap. PNC Food Markets and Red Baron Frozen Pizza.
As the leader of lap 100 wins $10,000. This is our 6th caution. So as Dick Larkin has his car looked over along pit road, we will be stepping out for a break. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse. We'll be back with more after this.
Look at Baloo move to the inside, and he just goes around Frank Cozy like Cozy's sitting still. Baloo moves into second position and now sets his sights on Buzzy Rudeman, the leader. Let's see if Baloo can go around him here on the main straightaway. Here they come down the main straightaway. Baloo to the inside, and he gets around. Did he wave to somebody going down the backstretch to our camera? Is that possible? Going well in excess of 100 miles an hour?
We are back at the New York State Fairgrounds for the Phase Drugstores 300. And it's the silver anniversary. Catering provided to Rush Hour on Dirt by the Dinosaur Barbecue, a genuine honky-tonk rib joint. The Dinosaur is also the home of the blues in central New York, featuring a one-of-a-kind atmosphere and clientele. The Dinosaur Barbecue feeds you smoking barbecue, then blows you away with its smoking blues. The Dinosaur also features an excellent catering service. For a thoroughly satisfying time, it's got to be the Dinosaur Barbecue. We'll be going back to green in one lap.
We've just completed lap number 90. Under caution will be green on 91. The leader is Rick Mill. Jeff Hetsler is second. Gil Tag is third. Danny Johnson is 4. Bud Chrisman is 5. Jimmy Horton is 6. Eddie Marshall is 7. Tommy Christiak is 8. Craig Van Doren is 9. And Steve Payne rounds out the top 10. That's unofficial as the green flag flies. We're under green on lap number 91.
And as you mentioned, we are closing in on a $10,000 payday to the leader on lap 100 from PNC Foods and Red Baron Pizza. Right now, Rick Mill has it squarely in his sights.
I guarantee you that he has never won $10,000 racing in his life. I'm not sure he's won $10,000 in all the purse money that he's collected over the years he's been racing. Rick Mill, if he can complete this and hold on to lead lap number 100. Now, they came to race 188 laps, but lap 100, $10,000, a big payday.
Jimmy Horton, the 87.
He was working on Bud Chrisman and the Brianski, number 18. That's the battle for the number 5 spot.
Very often have the question of the 100-lap leader not having pitted, trying to extend the gas mileage. But in this case, Mill has already been in the pits.
Yeah, he pitted on lap number 36, so he's okay. He can't go a lot further, but he can certainly make it to lap number 100. His problem isn't so much gas mileage. His problem is Jeff Hetsler, who runs at the number 2 spot.
Right now, about a 7-car length lead.
The battle for the number 5 position is now changed as Horton has made the pass. There we see the convertible.
Yeah.
We had a car with a roof off here on Friday as well. This may be becoming a situation. Here we see Doug Hoffman trying to make his way back through traffic, and he made contact with somebody. He is mired in the back of the pack after making a stop here just a few laps ago.
We are at the halfway point. Rick Mill
about 7-8 car lengths over Hetsler. They are stretching it out over now the third place car, Gilly Tegg, who has a rear, if he had a rear view mirror, it would be full of the smiling face of Danny Johnson, because the doctor has caught Gilly Tegg as they work in turn number 4.
Now remember, as we take a look at this duel to sprint race, actually to $10,000, Jeff Hetsler was the third fastest qualifier in this field.
And he's faster than Rick Mill right now. He's narrowed the gap somewhat. The question, we talked about this earlier, catching somebody is one thing, passing them is another. They're working on lap number 96 as we speak. Riding in the number 5 spot. Another lap on Alex Friesen. 4 miles, 4 laps to go for that $10,000 PNC Food Markets Red Baron Pizza $10,000 prize.
There is the battle for the lead, and Hetsler is closing in. Jeff Hetsler is putting a move on Rick Mill. Out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. And again, Mill is able to collect it.
3 miles to go. Lap 100 bonus. Mill used to race out of Wingdale, New York. He now calls New Windsor home. I asked him if that was a mistake or if he'd actually moved. He said, no, I moved. I'm trying to keep away from the bill collectors. Well, $10,000 will help him with the bill collectors for sure. John Binsky, of course, the car owner, will share in all that. Binsky, that's an Olson chassis. John builds the motors. He's the crew chief.
Hetsler is able to close in 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, but coming out of 4, most especially, Rick Mill appears to be the faster of the 2 cars. Hetsler is right on top of Mill in lap traffic. Oh, Rick almost had some contact.
Yeah, he did. That was Dwayne Howard in car number 126 that slowed dramatically on the racetrack, and Mill didn't sense that was coming. There's 1 lap to go for the bonus, and Hetsler is there. Hetsler had an open door for a moment.
Hetsler tried to get down low, couldn't do it. Mill continues to hold the lead. Half a lap to $10,000. Hetsler might try to give it 1 more go in turn 3, turn 4.
Mill got out of shape, and Hetsler was right there, but he was not able to make the pass. There's more to this story. We'll watch it as they come down the front straightaway.
Rick Mill, $10,000 from PNC Foods and Red Baron Pizza. He is our leader at the 100 lap mark, but now we have the battle for the lead.
The rest of the story on Rick Mill. This is the car that he ran here for the past couple of years, and the car owner, John Binsky, they parted midway through the season. Weren't seeing things working out the way they wanted them to, so they separated. But they got together for Syracuse, and it's given them a $10,000 payday so far.
And there are some folks wearing $10,000 smiles. Let's go down to the Rick Mill pit and Andy Fusco.
Down here in the Rick Mill pit with Rusty Graniger, the crew chief. Have you guys ever won $10,000 before?
No, we haven't. But we figured we had bad gas mileage, and we go for the 10,000 today.
Is it something you actually planned on as the week ensued?
I didn't hear you.
Is it something you planned on going for the 10 grand?
Yes, it is. We had bad gas mileage all week, and we figured we'd go for the 10,000 with an early stop. So see what happens towards the end of the race.
Now, how much can you go before you bring him in, and maybe you're going to get caught out there in the green?
He's coming in the next couple laps on a green stop. We're just going to gas him and go.
Right now, PNC is Rick Mill's closest friend. As he is pitting right in front of me. They gassed and go. Thanks a lot, guys. And back out. I don't know if he'll lose a lap right down here. It's tough to tell from this vantage point, but I don't think so. They gassed and go yesterday in the 358 race, and they didn't lose a lap under green. Probably the same thing would hold true in the big blocks.
He hasn't lost it yet. He is back out on the track as Hetsler now is into turn 2, and $10,000 to Rick Mill, but we have a new race leader.
Jeff Hetsler, Wallkill, New York racing veteran. He's a full-time racer. Works the precision engine shop, but that's really just a part-time sort of thing during the racing season. He's in the Smitty's Reclamation 33, and he is our race leader here as we speak. He won $5,000 last night, the Skull Shootout at Rolling Wheels.
So Jeff Hetsler, whose best finish here at the New York State Fairgrounds for the big race was 6th in 1984, is our leader. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse.
Rush Hour Super Dirt Week.
The green flag flies once again. Doug Hoffman answers the call into turn 1.
Hoffman answers the call, but the doctor is about to make a house call, perhaps. That's an expression that you and others have used. But $9 grand Dan has it wound up as he tries to run down Hoffman here in the final stages of the Phase 300, the world's richest dirt track stock car race. $100,000 is the winner's take-home prize money and contingency awards.
Jack Johnson and the Hurricane Steve Payne, the 12 and 7 machines.
Joe Plosick runs in position number 4. Jack Johnson is back in 5. Payne is in 6. Ricky Elliott running in the top 10. He drifts high in turn number 2. He'll lose a spot as Scotty Prentice moves by. And here we go back to the back straightaway. Danny Johnson runs about 15 car lengths behind race leader Doug Hoffman.
Now remember, you can just go back a few short years and Danny Johnson was in 2nd place in a race right here at the fairgrounds, and suddenly there was contact with the leader.
There certainly was, and the leader that day was Frank Cozy. They both crashed out of the event.
So if Danny can catch Doug Hoffman, you can expect not only a speed battle but a physical battle to the checkered flag.
$100,000, and the prestige that goes with all this means an awful lot to all these guys. They're not opposed to wheel banging, but that's probably not going to happen here as they battle for position. But you never know until the checkered flag flies.
Stay tuned. There's Danny in the number 6.
Danny has matured as a race car driver. He's always been good, but in his early days a little rough and very, very tough on equipment. But he's mellowed a little bit. He's won a 200-lapper in Susquehanna a couple of weeks ago. He's won a number of big races here late in the season, and he's learned to slow down, go fast, and be there at the end. Slow down, but not all that slow. He's still very much a charger.
Battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There's Joe Plosick trying to reel in Kenny Tremont, the 115. The story right there. Doug Hoffman started in the 21st row, 42nd position in the Phil Chevrolet, and he took that Troyer to the lead.
That bump that a number of drivers have talked about isn't getting any better, and of course eventually that'll take its toll on these some of this equipment.
Doug Hoffman trying to become a first-time winner. The last 300 first-time winner was Richie Tobias in '92. That was a rain-shortened event. Before that, we have to go back to '88 when Kenny Breitbill won the race. A first-time winner. He was our pole sitter in this event. Hoffman is the leader. Danny Johnson 2nd, Kenny Tremont 3rd, Joe Plosick, Jack Johnson the top 5.
Moving back to the second 5, 6 is Payne. Pat Ward runs in number 7 spot. Bobby Varon is 8. Scotty Prentice is 9, and Dave Laney runs in position number 10. Lap number 167 on the board.
And Doug Hoffman is in traffic.
There's that much abused number 348 that we talked about earlier, and that's a menace on the racetrack right now. It's not handling very well at all, and Hoffman disposes of Rick Mill.
And he's got a sizable advantage. There you see Danny Johnson just swinging out of turn 4.
There's a shot of Ronnie Smoker, his first ever Phase 300. Second generation driver out of North Boston, New York.
20 laps to go. 20 laps to go. Top rookie in the race, Ron Smoker.
Smoker racing there with Johnny Moravec in the Barney Moravec Waterwells car.
Currently in 17th position on the lead lap, and you had a look at Jeff Hetsler, who in the scheme of things got shuffled right down to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, he was involved in a little wheel banging deal earlier, and since then he has been off the pace. But not off the pace is race leader Doug Hoffman, Phil's Chevrolet, 3 Mile Group Farms. Troyer bus with a Ron Hutter big block Chevrolet under the hood.
You take a look at our top. We have a car slowing.
That's John Hewitt. Doing a great run here today. Driver out of Troy, New York. Another Reifenberg Construction sponsored cars.
He's got a rear flat, and I believe it may force the yellow flag. Yes, it does. We have caution on the racetrack here at the New York State Fairgrounds. Our leaders, Doug Hoffman, Danny Johnson, Kenny Tremont, Joe Plozek. Those top 4 drivers, all very, very accomplished on the dirt circuit, but there's one glaring omission. There's one line missing on their resume, and that is champion of the Phase 300.
All are very, very capable. All have been major players in this race for a number of years, but as the cards have unfolded, they've just never managed to be on top at the end of the day.
We have 17 laps remaining. Our leader is Doug Hoffman. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse.
Rush Hour Super Dirt Week.
Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery at the New York State Fairgrounds, and we are reaching the latter moments of our Phase 300. The leader is Doug Hoffman. In second, it's Danny Johnson. Let's go down to Danny Johnson's pit and Cowboy Paul Small.
Doug, I'm with Ed Burgess, crew chief for Danny Johnson's Freightliner number 6. And the main question is, do you guys have enough mustard to catch this Hoffman car?
Doug's really fast right now. You know, we just have to sit back, go to the next couple of laps, and hope for the best.
How about the fuel and tire situation?
Everybody seems to be having a little bit of problems with tires right now. We just, hope the big man upstairs is looking down on us.
Let's see if there are any problems for race leader Doug Hoffman. Andy Fusco is in the Billy Taylor pit.
Thank you, Paul. Billy Taylor, Danny Johnson used to drive for you. What do you think he'll try to do right now to beat you?
Well, it's going to be a tough run, but I got an awful good race car right now, and I got a Ron Hutter motor, brand new, and I feel real good.
Billy Taylor ought to run for president the way he doesn't answer the questions, guys.
Lucky 13 laps to go. And Doug Hoffman looks to be the better of the machines out there. He's got that lead with Danny Johnson losing a little bit of ground here.
He is losing a little bit of ground indeed to the leader, and in the meantime, Kenny Tremont has closed the gap on Danny Johnson. That hole in turn 3 continues to be larger and larger, and there's some of them are running right through it every lap. That's tough on suspension parts.
Hoffman, Johnson, Kenny Tremont, Joe Plozek, and Jack Johnson, the top 5.
Running in 6 is Steve Payne. Pat Ward is 7. Bobby Varon is 8. Scott Prentice is 9. And rounding out the top 10 now is Ricky Elliott. Clearing our last caution period, Dave Laney made a pit stop, and he's out of the top 10.
The leader into turn 4 and down the front straightaway, Doug Hoffman.
As you can see, he has opened up a comfortable margin over Danny, who now has a little bit of breathing room.
Oh, he slid out high.
Right there, that's the hole in turn 2. So the holes in turns 2 and 3 could be a factor here in these final laps.
All part of the variables of dirt track racing.
There'll be 11 to go when they cross the line this time. Plozek running at 4, Jack Johnson 5. Front 3 drivers all using Troyer chassis. Back in the 4 spot is the LTR Special of Joe Plozek, the long track racer car. Running in the number 5 spot, Jack Johnson and Olson car. Running in the 6th spot, he drives a McNeil chassis car.
About a 4-second lead for Doug Hoffman over the second place competitor Danny Johnson. 10 laps to go here in Syracuse. And the richest payday of them all in dirt track auto racing is just 10 laps away for Doug Hoffman. Can he keep it together?
The battle right now is that one on the screen. Kenny Tremont running in the number 3 spot. Joe Plazek in 4. Everybody else pretty much stretched out and running all alone. But that's the race as Joe Plazek is all over Kenny Tremont here in the final stages. He looks to the inside down the front straightaway. Can't make it. Backs out of it as Tremont slams the door as they enter turn number 1. Now in turn 2 the door was open, but both cars washed out. So Plazek was not able to make the pass.
So the battle for third continues. Kenny Tremont and Joe Plazek. Tremont in the 115, Plazek in the white number 1.
The guy that can make his car stick on the bottom, the furthest through the corners, will have the advantage in that little deal, but it appears that both cars are about the same shape as far as tires and handling, because neither can stick on the bottom all the way through either end of the speedway. Plazek may have lost a little more ground there.
To go. Car in the pits.
It's Eddie Marshall. He was just out of the top 10. I think he was running maybe 11th, possibly 12th. Driver out of Pound Ridge, New York. Second generation driver Eddie Marshall, the Marshall Oil Olsen Eagle.
And Marshall's back out. There's Doug Hoffman, and his heart has to be beating like a drum right now.
Unbelievable. He has been close, but no cigar.
He has endured so much frustration, and the frustration has continued all the way to today, but not at this moment.
Really slow.
First, we heard from Billy Taylor telling his driver 10 to go. I couldn't identify the voice of the second crew chief telling him slow to go or whatever that message was.
Well, he continues to expand his lead.
32-4.
It is almost as if Danny Johnson now, as opposed to actually battling for the lead, is trying to hang on to that second spot.
That's the case because Tremont and Plazek are closing in. Slow down a couple of tenths, will you? Save that gas, Doug. Okay, so this thing, Taylor is so very, very optimistic when he talks to Paul Small, but there's a message. Slow down, Doug. Slow down. Save gas and tires.
And 5 laps to go, says starter Dave Farney, as Hoffman is into turn 1. Now turn 2, and he rockets down the backstretch. There's a look at Billy Taylor. What a crowning moment this would be if Doug Hoffman can bring it home.
Danny Johnson holds on to the number 2 spot. Tremont is there. It appears that Plazek has nothing for Tremont any longer.
Remember, this is the backup car for Doug Hoffman. A backup car, and he is about to taste the fruits of victory.
Actually, I'm not sure. They've switched back and forth. This may be the primary car with the backup engine, but then we heard Taylor say he had a new engine in it. So I don't know that we've got it all figured out. I don't know if they've got it all figured out. They're not telling us everything.
The backup car's engine in this car.
Okay. So this is the car that the chassis that they brought to run here. The motor is either the backup motor, small short track motor, or a brand new one, depending on which story you want to believe for Billy Taylor.
Danny Johnson second, Kenny Tremont third, fourth Joe Plazek. And we are about to get the sign of 2 laps remaining.
Tremont close to Danny Johnson as they work out of 2 and head down the back straightaway. Excuse me, that was at turn 3 through 4 now.
And nervous times in the pits. 2 laps to go. There's your second place car, Danny Johnson. 5-second lead for Doug Hoffman. He just has to bring it home.
Nobody's going to touch Hoffman if he doesn't have a problem. The battle is for 2 and 3.
And we have a crash. Jimmy Hauser.
Hauser is involved, and oh my goodness, they're going to have to go yellow, and this race will not end under yellow. Gas mileage, if it was a problem, will be a bigger. Well, they haven't yet displayed the yellow.
1 lap remaining. 1 lap remaining. We remain green on the race course. Doug Hoffman is now in turn 2. Down the back straightaway. Doug Hoffman, the race leader, and he's way out in front. Hoffman steering that number 1 into turn 3. He slides just a little bit. The rear end wanted to come out into turn 4. Down the front straightaway. The checkered flag is out, and Doug Hoffman is the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300.
Great job. Can you imagine the emotion? Hoffman and Taylor. This will be a celebration royale. I hope that Paul Small is there to pick this one up. Taylor will be jumping and hollering and shouting. What a party this will be.
Over 400 career wins for Doug Hoffman, but this is the big one.
The one he's been looking for so very, very long. 37-year-old professional race car driver. In his spare time, he and his brother operate Hoffman Brothers Speed and Equipment down in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh my, you really have to feel very, very pleased for that man right there, Doug Hoffman in the Phil Chevrolet car, and Billy Taylor. During the summer, he told us we are going for it, and they have gotten it. Let's go down to the pits now. Andy Fusco is with Billy Taylor.
Thanks a lot, Doug. Billy, have you ever been happier?
No, this is it. This puts the frosting on the cake. I worked hard. I worked real hard last week, and I built this car in exact 7 days, racing the short track racing, and I put this car together, Doug and I. This is our deal.
You began the year in Winston Cup. You end the year in Victory Lane in Syracuse. Quite a 360-degree turn.
Because Doug called me, and I didn't like the Winston Cup guys. They didn't understand what I was all about. And I called my brother, and he's the guy that forged this whole deal for me. And I couldn't do it without him. I wish he was here today to enjoy this. But I know he's at home, and God damn it, we won this deal.
Go join your driver, buddy. We all understand what you're about.
Thank you.
Back up to Doug and Gary in the tower.
Heartiest congratulations to Doug Hoffman. We will be going down to Victory Lane to visit with our champion, Doug Hoffman, when we come back. Our special rush hour will continue. This is the Phase 300 at Super Dirt Week in Syracuse. We'll be right back.
Rush Hour Super Dirt Week.
Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery back at the New York State Fairgrounds. The winner of our Super Dirt Week Phase 300 is Doug Hoffman, and let's go down to Victory Lane.
Hoffman, congratulations. You finally made it to victory in the 300.
Believe it. You know, it really hasn't sank in yet, but the Phil Chevrolet crew did an outstanding job. We went with our game plan. It actually worked for a change. I mean, we had bad luck all week long, and I just can't believe we're here. Thank you, Billy Taylor and Billy Colton from Troy Engineering, 97 car. It was just unbelievable. At the end of the race, they kept slow me down. The car just felt so good going fast that they just wanted me to conserve fuel, but I mean, we made it here. Unbelievable. It's such a great feeling.
Years and years of frustration finally gets a payoff.
Well, you know, I've been so close so many times, and we just had such bad luck, and I've seen guys do it, having a week of bad luck and then coming out winning the race, and I just didn't figure I was ever going to do it that way, and I really'd rather not go through Super Dirt Week the way things went this year, but what an ending to a absolutely unbelievable week, and I just can't be more happier with the work. The guys worked so hard on the race car. I mean, they had to switch motors and drag another car. I mean, it was just a lot of work all week long, and it all paid off.
When do you think this is finally going to sink in for you?
I think when everybody leaves and we get a chance to be alone with just me and the crew and talk about what happened, I think it'll finally sink in. But it's just, I finally won one of these things. You know, I've been trying so hard. I've been so fast up here for so many years and come away empty. And this year it all went our way.
Congratulations. Fantastic victory.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody back home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 25th annual Phase 300 is Doug Hoffman. Doug?
Oh, congratulations to Doug Hoffman, and he is unbuckled and he's about to climb out and greet the adoring fans here at the New York State Fairgrounds. There he is, Doug Hoffman, the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300. For Gary Montgomery, Paul Small, and Andy Fusco and the entire Rush Hour on Dirt crew, this is Doug Logan saying thank you for joining us, and so long for now.
The executive producer of Rush Hour on Dirt is Glenn Donnelly. Rush Hour on Dirt is a production of Dirt Motorsports and a presentation of Sports Channel.